Okay, hello, everyone. In this occasion, Anissya, Agga, Taufiq, and myself, Hanif, will be presenting about our homework, which is related to the ACL application. Okay, so first, let's talk about question number one. The instruction for question number one is using the total command, develop a hash control total and an amount control total for AP trends. What recommendation would you make to develop a field for hash control total? Okay, so first, what we need to do is we need to open the application and then open the sample project file. After that, we have to press analyze and then press total field. Then three items will be shown. Drag all of this item, make sure that all of those are selected, and then press OK. This table will appear. It will show the invoice amount, quantity, and unit cost. As for the recommendation, it is recommended that for us to use the number fields so that there's no data that's left out. So as for number two, the instruction is to run profile on the file invoice amount. Can we determine if there are any negative transactions? Explain. Okay, so just like number one, we need to open the sample project file, then press analyze, hover the cursor to the statistical, and press profile. Three items will be shown. Press the first item, which is the invoice amount, and then press OK. This table will appear, which is the invoice amount table. And as for whether there's negative transactions, we conclude that there's no negative transactions because the total value and the absolute value is the same, and there's no minimum value, which is negative.
So good morning, guys. I will explain the third question. The third question is asking to run statistics on each of the four available fields with the standard deviation box with the box check. And we must describe the audit direction to specific invoice based on the result of the statistics. First, we're choosing the account payable trends. Then we click the analyze in the top, and we see there's some points which is on records, total fields, and statistical. We choose the statistical. Then we choose the statistics. Next. After choosing the statistics, it will appear four of these content, which is the invoice and quantity and the cost. Then we must take the standard deviation that was asked in the question. Next. After clicking, the data will be appear, which is the invoice amount with the highest from the lowest. Also the invoice date. Next. The quantity, and also it is shown the highest value from and its lowest value, and also the unit cost with a complete information which is showing the highest and the lowest value also. Next. Referring to the third question, we are asked about the audit direction. But before that, we must see the data first. The data shown that there was 102 invoice that was collected from the 12th of October until the 1st of November in the 2000. The total invoice is in a total is an amount of 278,641, and the lowest invoice of $14, and the highest invoice in the total amount is $56,767. In here also it is stated that the unit cost started at 1.1 and ends in 173.8. The audit direction is used uh, as the data that can help the auditors in determining the accuracy, also for the auditors to analyze and to investigate the quantity of invoice which is being processed during the certain period of time. On the other hand, this data also helps the auditor to check negative balances, and there is known as well as big checks separately, meaning that big checks will be checked together. Next. I also will answer the question number 4, which we must run sample in the sampling for the AP trans file using the data from the third step. The sample invoice amount have an interval of 6,609 and begin with $14, the minimum invoice, and the cutoff is around $56,767. And we must save this file to the AP trans sample. So first we must click the AP trans file, then we must click the sampling in the top. Then we choose the sampling record, or we can click it by CTRL plus the number 9. Next. Then it will show up the sample, which we must fill the interval, the start, and the cutoff as what it is as in the fourth question. Then we must type 2, which is saving the file to AP trans sample. Then we click the use output table and we click OK. Next. Next, the result will be shown the sample data that is shown in the account payable file.
So next, I will be discussing about question number 5 of our assignment, which is run sequence on AR using invoice number. Make sure to only use invoice type transactions with the code of IN. Use expression builder to filter out other transaction types. What do you notice about the invoice number? So I'm going to be discussing about this question and guide you through the steps of how we could get the result. So first of all, we're going to open the AR table data in the ACL, and then we're gonna click the AR table. After we've opened the AR table, from the Analyze tool above, we're gonna select it and select the examine sequence. Next, we're going, a window pop-up will appear, and we are going to select the ref or ref number table, and we're going to click the if condition, and we have to input from the available fields. We are going to select the type or transaction type and input the equation, which is type equals to apostrophe IN apostrophe. And we're gonna click OK. So this way we're going to sequence the AR table based on the invoice number or reference, but we're going to only select the invoice type transactions with the code of IN. Then we're going to select OK, and here are the results. The ACL found 10 sequence errors with the record number of 22, 26, 32, 35, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, and 48. So from the 588 records that match the if condition, 10 sequence errors were detected by the ACL.
So for question number 6, we were asked to rerun the sequence on the same file, but on top of that, we needed to check for duplicates and gaps, as well as the filter invoice type transactions. So similar to exactly the same actually as number 5, we click examine sequence, you put the invoice type in the if bar, and then you get the same results of 588 records matched. For the duplicates, you analyze, look for duplicates, you set the field as the ref number, the same as before, and then you save the selected fields to search for whatever duplicates in these fields. For this one, we click all because we need to find out what duplicates on all of the fields. It's the same as before. We check the invoice type, and we see that there are 0 duplicates detected. For the gaps, we analyze, look for gaps, check the reference number, and use as the same as before, the type is the invoice type only. And from that, we can see that there are 182 gap ranges detected. For question number 7, we needed to sort records in a descending order. For this, we use the data, sort records, and then we check for the amount transaction, and then we click the arrow to change the order from ascending to descending. See the downwards arrow next to the amount, and then we save it to a new file, the AR underscore sort amounts, same as the before. We put the type as invoice, and then see this as the result. The transaction amount is correctly ordered in a descending order, saved in the AR underscore sort amount. So I think that's it for our presentation. We have discussed all of the questions and provided a step-by-step instructions on how to do them on ACL. Thank you very much all. I hope this helps.